I'm going to play you a clip from Erika's speech last night that was the most important, bar none, segment of the entire affair. I know it was long. I know there was a lot of prominent speakers saying very important things, but the entire event, everything that Charlie stood for hinged on this clip. It is long. I told our producer I wanted to leave the entirety of the applause in there, but I think it's worth it. Watch this from Erika Kirk.
My husband, Charlie, he wanted to save young men just like the one who took his life. That young man, on the cross, our Savior said, "Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do." That man, that young man, I forgive him. I forgive him because it was what Christ did and is what Charlie would do. The answer to hate is not hate. The answer we know from the gospel is love, and always love. Love for our enemies and love for those who persecute us.
I think part of the reason why I wanted to have that whole clip is to give myself a chance to recover, because myself and producer Glenn are getting a little misty-eyed here watching that. You know, the day after Charlie was assassinated, I had a difficult kind of position and difficult take on things. And I'm not at all trying to make this about myself. I just wanted to let you in on kind of the process going through my head. Came out almost immediately and said, we're a godless, the problem is godlessness. That is what our main problem is. And in addition to that, part of this equation is forgiveness. And I'll be honest with you, we recorded that segment and I called a couple different people in the Turning Point bubble and said, hey, this is maybe a little bit spicy. And not because it was wrong, but because I wasn't sure that it was my place to do. Erika has borne the overwhelming brunt of the severity of this. Obviously, Charlie affected my life. He has affected your life. But Erika was his life. And it was very difficult for me to put out a call to forgiveness, even though it is exactly what, and Erika said it, exactly what Charlie would have wanted. But I wasn't sure it was my place. And watching last night, being in the room, having tears streaming down my face, my wife's face, and everybody around us in the same section, Erika give the green light that it is okay to forgive. That set the tone of what the conservative movement, what Turning Point, what the entire country is about, and what they should be about. The world is not fair. It is not fair. But what Erica said there is that you can't combat unfairness with further unfairness. You will eventually get into a vicious circle of bloodlust. And the only way out of that is forgiveness. And that forgiveness is perfectly exemplified at the cross. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. And forgiveness is hard. It is difficult. It is an anguishing process, but it must be gone through because it's the only way to live. Yes, on the cross, forgiveness was exemplified by Jesus, and it was painful, and it was awful to watch, but it was necessary because remember, then 3 days after that comes the resurrection. It is the only way to move forward in a world that is unfair and will continue to be unfair, regardless of how we feel that we should respond. The only way to respond is to forgive. It was really interesting last night in my own just emotional state, going through some of the comments on the internet in response to Erika's speech. There were several comments that a week ago I probably would have been enraged with. And I think, that feeling somewhat exists there, but it's masked by a feeling of and a posture towards forgiveness and therefore a posture towards pity. There were several comments that I could show you and we could rage bait each other of look at what they said against Erika. And, none of that would be unwarranted, but overall, the tone that Erika set put myself, and I hope it put you, in a posture towards, doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter because we'll forgive you for the comments that you make and really have pity on you. Last night, and I don't want to take this overly political in the sense of the direction of the country, was an oh my God moment. First, in the positive light, every single speaker up there mentioned their faith. They mentioned the fact that individually we need to become a more God-fearing society, and therefore, more broadly, we will be able to correct the course of whatever path we'd like to see going forward. It was also, and I don't mean this in any comical sense, an oh my God moment for all of the loud minority who yesterday, specifically during Erika's speech, realized, oh my God, these people are starting to wake up and understand who they truly are and who they were meant to be. For too long, the very, very loud minority has coerced so many of us into directions that are not who we are. And yesterday, witnessing the long lineup of people that were giving their thoughts, sharing their faith, and again, more specifically, Erika at that pinnacle point in her speech, let the world know that it is okay to be who you are. It is okay to reject the notion that you're supposed to harbor vitriol, which is what so many people who are in an anti-God state do. It's unfortunate, but it's the reality. We can go two different directions here. We could have gone two different directions here. Erika put us on the direction that we were supposed to go. We could have gone the direction of holding despair and holding on to the resentment and not wanting to let go of a justifiably angry attitude towards the assassination of our friend Charlie Kirk. Or we could do as what Charlie would have wanted, what Erika has done, and what Jesus exemplified himself, and that is to forgive. And if we went that direction, which we did, then it can truly be the turning point of this country and of the American people.